Walk into any appliance store in 2025, and it feels less like shopping and more like walking onto a movie set. Rows of stainless steel giants, spotless doors, soft LED glow, and salespeople floating around with the same script. 20-year lifespan. Smart inverter compressor. Premium brand. Built to last. But here's the truth. Nobody on that sales floor is paid to tell you. Some of those logos really can sit in your kitchen for 15 to 20 years. Others are just very shiny boxes counting down to the day they turn your groceries into a warm science experiment. One viewer put it perfectly. Our premium fridge died in year 4. The repair guy quoted $1,200 and said, "Honestly, just replace it. I wanted to throw it out the window." So in this video, we're ranking refrigerator brands in 2025 from best to worst. Not by how pretty they look in a showroom, but by how long they actually last, how painful they are to repair, and what real owners and techs are saying. If your current fridge shows up low on this list, don't panic. Just remember it when you're picking the next one. We're going top to bottom. Let's start with the brands that actually earn their spot in your kitchen. Number 1. Miele. The fridge that's built like it's planning to outlive your kitchen. Miele treats refrigerators the way some brands treat luxury cars, over-engineered on purpose. They don't just test for, will it survive the warranty? They stress-test their units to simulate roughly 20 years of heavy daily use. Doors opening constantly, shelves overloaded, kids slamming things around. Open a Miele, and you feel the difference immediately. Door hinges that don't wobble when the door is full of bottles. Shelves that don't sag under 2 gallons of milk. Drawers that slide smoothly instead of grinding and squeaking. Plastic that doesn't feel like it'll crack in year 3. One owner told us, "We remodeled the kitchen twice. Cabinets changed, countertops changed. The Miele stayed. It just kept working." They're also impressively quiet and very efficient. You don't get a lot of flashy gimmicks, just that this thing is solid feeling every time you open the door. Are they expensive? Yes. This is small used car territory, but you're paying to stop playing the 6 to 7 year replacement game. If you care more about buy once, forget about it, than about saving money up front, Miele sits at number 1 for a reason. Number 2, Sub-Zero. Not just a fridge, a food preservation flex. Sub-Zero is the name people drop when they want their kitchen to feel like a luxury showroom. And for once, the flex has substance behind it. Sub-Zero doesn't just chill food, it manages it. Independent cooling zones for produce, meat, and dairy. Solid shelves and drawers that feel like they belong in a high-end car. Air filtration that helps reduce ethylene gas so your greens and fruit don't age overnight. You notice the difference when your berries and herbs last days longer than they did in your last fridge. One longtime owner said, "Our Sub-Zero is over 17 years old. We've done minor service, but it still keeps food better than my neighbor's 3-year-old smart fridge." Another big plus. These are built to be serviced, not just thrown away. You'll see Sub-Zero units running 20 to 25 years with proper maintenance. The downside, the entry price hurts. Repairs, when you finally need them, are also not cheap. But for people who cook a lot, buy higher-end ingredients, or just hate watching food go bad, Sub-Zero is both a performance upgrade and a status symbol. If Miele is the quiet German engineer, Sub-Zero is the preservation nerd with a luxury badge. And it absolutely earns the number 2 spot. Number 3, Speed Queen. The industrial workhorse pretending to be a home fridge. Most people know Speed Queen from laundromats and commercial washers that simply refuse to die. When that mindset gets applied to refrigeration, things get interesting. Speed Queen fridges are not trying to win any beauty contests. You're not getting a giant touchscreen, mood lighting, or door-in-door party tricks. What you do get is heavy-duty hinges and hardware built for constant use, thick insulation that keeps food cold, even if the power goes out for a while, fewer fragile electronics and complicated boards that fry at the first power surge. Inside, everything feels simple and sturdy, instead of delicate and over-designed. One viewer summed it up like this: "My last fridge was gorgeous and fragile. The Speed Queen is plain and indestructible. I'll take indestructible." Perfect for busy families, rentals, people who open the fridge 50 times a day and don't want to baby it. If you want your refrigerator to behave like a tough old pickup truck, not flashy, but always ready, Speed Queen absolutely deserves a high place on this list. We've covered the tanks at the top, the brands built for people who never want to think about fridges again. Now we drop into the middle of the ranking. This is where most people actually shop. Not ultra-luxury, not total junk, but a mix of quiet workhorses and beautiful gambles. Number 4. Amana. Boring on the outside, surprisingly smart on the inside, Amana is the brand most showrooms don't bother hyping. No giant touchscreens, no glass doors, no party mode. And that's kind of the point. Amana sticks to simple cooling, basic controls, minimal smart junk that can break. You open the door and nothing screams premium. But 5, 8, 10 years later, you realize that might be a good thing. One viewer told us, "We bought an Amana as a temporary fridge during a remodel. 9 years later, the new cabinets are in, the floors are done, and the temporary Amana is still in the kitchen." Pros. Usually affordable, straightforward parts. Most techs know how to work on them. Cons. Not a design statement, no cutting-edge features or fancy styling. If you care more about it just works, then it looks stunning in my Instagram photo. Amana is one of the best quiet value brands in 2025. Number 5. Haier. The budget brand that stopped being a joke. 10 years ago, Haier was what you bought when the only requirement was cold and cheap. In 2025, you still buy it with a budget in mind, but now it actually deserves a second look. They've stepped up. Cleaner designs, better energy efficiency than you'd expect at the price, noticeably improved build quality compared to the early days. Is Haier a 20-year tank? No. The interiors can still feel a little light, a little plasticky, and you shouldn't expect sub-zero lifespan. But for the money, they punch above their weight. One landlord told us, "I put Haier fridges in 3 rentals expecting drama. 4 years later, 0 calls, 0 repairs. Not luxury, but they get the job done." Where Haier makes sense: rentals, vacation homes, secondary fridges, first-time buyers who can't drop thousands yet. If the choice is between a no-name piece of junk and a Haier at a similar price, Haier is often the smart, cheap seat on the plane. Number 6. Maytag. Less advertising, more it just runs. Maytag loves that old lonely repairman ad campaign. Reality check: he's not that lonely in 2025, but compared to a lot of brands, he's still less busy. Maytag fridges sit in that sweet spot. Not glamorous, not total tanks, but solid, understandable machines. You get simple designs that techs can actually troubleshoot. Decent consistency across models. Fewer "what were they thinking?" experimental features. One repair tech told us, "If someone's scared of crazy modern smart fridges, I steer them toward Maytag. There's still logic in there, not just software." Typical downsides. Some plastic parts still wear out. Compressors can be a bit loud on certain models. Not always the most efficient compared to the newest high-tech stuff, but if you want something that feels closer to old-school fridge logic with modern performance, Maytag is a respectable, grown-up choice. Number 7. KitchenAid. Gorgeous kitchen showpiece. With a reliability lottery inside, KitchenAid has insane brand power because of one thing: that iconic stand mixer. People trust the name. The marketing knows it. So when you see a KitchenAid fridge, beautiful handles, pro-style finishes, upscale look that matches the rest of the suite, it's easy to assume the inside is just as bulletproof. Sometimes that's true. Some owners absolutely love their KitchenAid fridges. Quiet, clean, nice to live with. But for every happy story, there's another that sounds like this. "I bought KitchenAid so my whole kitchen would match. At year 3.5, it leaked and wrecked our hardwood floor. Compressor issue. The repair bill felt like I was buying half a new fridge." That's the problem. You're paying premium prices for design, badge, look at my kitchen factor, and not always getting the reliability you'd expect at that level. If having a matching KitchenAid suite is your dream and you accept the risk, fine. But if you're making a cold, logical decision, KitchenAid doesn't climb higher in the reliability ranking. Number 8. Bosch. Minimalist. Quiet. Until you need a repair, Bosch has a strong reputation in dishwashers, and a lot of that brand halo spills onto their refrigerators. On the surface, Bosch fridges are easy to like. Clean, minimalist design, often very quiet, perfect for modern, built-in kitchens. Day to day, they feel premium. The problem starts when something actually breaks. A common Bosch owner story looks like this. Loved the fridge. Then it broke. Waited weeks for parts, paid a premium for labor, and the whole thing turned into an expensive nightmare. The issues? Not every local tech is comfortable working on Bosch. Parts can be slower to arrive and more expensive. Complex European design means simpler fixes are not always simple. So you get this split personality. When it's working, great user experience. When it's not, headaches and big invoices. If you're building a sleek, high-end kitchen and want that integrated Bosch look, the choice can make sense. But if your priority is lowest total cost over 10 to 15 years, Bosch doesn't beat the brands higher in this ranking. We've covered the winners and the solid middle. Now it's time for the danger zone. Once great names coasting on reputation, smart divas that look gorgeous and act fragile, and the brand that hits rock bottom in 2025. If your fridge is in this part, don't panic. Just don't rebuy the same mistake. Number 9. Whirlpool. Used to be a tank, now it's a coin flip. Whirlpool used to be the default. Buy it, plug it in, forget about it for 15 years. In 2025, that's no longer guaranteed. The big problem is inconsistency. One model will run quietly for a decade, the next dies just after the warranty. Some units have weak hinges, some have noisy compressors, some show annoying temperature swings. A viewer told us, "My old Whirlpool from the 2000s is still in the garage. The new one in the kitchen barely made 5 years." The good news? Parts are common. Most techs know the platform. The bad news? You can't just trust the logo anymore. You must read recent reviews for the exact model. Number 10. GE Appliances. The legacy logo that started cutting corners. GE still lives in people's heads as reliable, but the current lineup doesn't fully match that memory. At first, a GE fridge feels solid. Doors are heavy, finishes look respectable. Then year 2 or 3 hits and you start seeing cracked bins, snapped shelves, peeling door seals. Add in overpriced water filters and the total cost of ownership creeps up fast. One owner summed it up. Looked and felt great in the showroom. By year 4, the inside felt like a cheap toy. The upside? Repairs are usually easier than with the smart divas below. But you're mostly buying nostalgia, not the tank your grandparents had. Number 11. LG. Stylish, efficient, and infamous for ice maker drama, LG fridges look fantastic. Modern, efficient, feature-packed. On paper, they're exactly what people want. In reality, they're held back by 2 big themes: ice makers that freeze up, jam, or fail so often there are whole Facebook groups about them, past compressor issues serious enough to trigger class action lawsuits. Yes, some models have improved. Yes, some owners are happy. But you shouldn't be gambling at these prices. One viewer said, "Our LG is gorgeous and quiet, but the ice maker is my part-time job. I'm done." If you get a good unit, you'll love it. The problem is the odds. For the money, LG should feel safer than it does in 2025. Number 12. Samsung. Showroom supermodel. High maintenance at home. Samsung fridges are designed to win you over in 10 seconds. Giant touchscreens, door-in-door tricks, super clean styling. But ask any seasoned appliance tech about Samsung refrigerators, and you'll hear the same sigh. Real-world issues keep repeating. Ice makers freezing over or failing, leaky water dispensers, early compressor problems, proprietary parts that are expensive and not always easy to get. Then there's support. Many owners report, "We waited weeks for parts and got bounced between Samsung, the store, and the service company. That flashy screen on the door feels like a joke when the inside can't keep a stable temperature." If you absolutely love the design and know what you're getting into, fine. But if you want buy once, forget about it. Samsung sits way too low on the reliability ladder. Number 13. Frigidaire. From trusted classic to expensive lesson, Frigidaire used to be a no-drama, all-American staple. Today, a lot of their fridges feel like case studies in cost-cutting. Thin, cheap-feeling plastic inside, door bins that bow and crack under normal use, seals and hinges that don't age well. Worse, they lean on proprietary parts that aren't cheap. One owner told us, the fridge was cheap. The replacement control board cost almost half the fridge. 2 months later, something else died. Never again. On the price tag, Frigidaire often looks like a bargain. In reality, the mix of weak build quality, pricey parts, and repeat failures makes it the worst bet on this list in 2025. So what should you actually do with this list? Zooming out, top tier, Miele, Sub-Zero, Speed Queen. For people who want long-term reliability and can pay upfront to avoid the 6 to 8 year replacement cycle. Practical winners, Amana, Haier, Maytag. Less flashy, more sensible, great for real-world kitchens and rentals. Design first, risk-attached, KitchenAid, Bosch, Whirlpool, GE, can work, but you must research specific models. Divas and Danger Zone, LG, Samsung, Frigidaire. Big promises, big looks, bigger risk. You're not just buying a box that gets cold. You're buying the machine that touches your life every single day for the next 5 to 15 years. So before you let a shiny door or a giant touchscreen talk you into something, remember this ranking. Check what real owners say after year 3, and pick the fridge that fits your life, not the showroom. You're watching Appliance Trap, where we cut through the marketing, expose the shortcuts, and help you spend smarter on the appliances you live with every day.